When you look at the world today, you can just feel it, can't you? There's this sense that something fundamental is shifting, like the very ground beneath our feet isn't so stable anymore.
I mean, just look around. All across the globe, there's this rising tide of anger. You see it in the streets, it's all over our screens, and it's fueling this deep unrest that's becoming absolutely impossible to ignore.
And all that anger? Well, it's starting to manifest in a really powerful way. We're seeing nations turn inward. Borders are getting tighter. The whole idea of a connected, global world seems to be fracturing right before our very eyes.
What it all adds up to is this really unsettling feeling. A growing fear that the world we all thought we knew, the established order, the familiar alliances, is just fading away.
Okay, so what is really going on here? What's behind this feeling of instability? We're going to dive into a crisis that's spreading like wildfire across the globe, forcing whole countries to ask one simple but incredibly dangerous question. Who are we?
What's the common thread in all this? It's pretty wild when you think about it. From continent to continent, there's one single, powerful concept that's driving all this tension, and in a lot of places, it's turning violent. Identity. That's it. And look, this isn't some high-minded philosophical thing anymore. It has become the main event, the central battleground of our time.
And it all boils down to these three massive questions that are being asked everywhere, in every single culture. Who are we as a country? Who gets to belong here? And maybe most importantly, who gets to decide?
So the struggle to answer these questions, well, it's doing more than just sparking a few protests. It's literally pushing the entire world into a brand new, really volatile and unpredictable era of tension. All right, so what's fueling all this division? To really get it, we need to look at two huge forces that are just pouring gasoline on this fire: migration and trust.
First up, migration. And we're not talking about a small increase here. The number of people on the move globally is at an all-time high. I mean, we've literally never seen anything like this in all of human history.
And people aren't moving for trivial reasons. They're trying to escape war, they're running from crushing poverty, and more, they're seeking refuge from climate disasters. These are life or death situations.
And this, well, it just creates a massive, unbridgeable divide. On one side, you have people saying, we have to open our doors, it's our humanitarian duty. On the other side, people are saying, hold on, this is tearing our country apart. And the crazy part is, both sides genuinely believe they're fighting for their very survival.
Now, the second driver is just as powerful, and it's something we all kind of feel every day: a total collapse of trust. Think about it. The big institutions that were supposed to hold everything together, governments, the media, people just don't believe in them anymore.
And you can see it play out, right? So many folks feel politicians have lost all credibility. The media is constantly accused of just trying to divide everyone, and social media, man, it spreads fear and misinformation way faster than it ever spreads the truth. When those pillars crumble, what's left to hold a country together?
So if you're hoping this all just kind of blows over soon, well, the experts who study this stuff are pretty clear. This isn't the peak of the crisis. They're warning that this is just the beginning.
So where does all this go from here? Let's switch gears a little and look at what the experts are forecasting for the next few years, for 2025 and beyond.
The forecast is, well, pretty sobering. Basically, take everything we're seeing now and just turn up the volume. We're talking more protests, more clashes at borders, politics getting even more tense, and yet even more intense conflicts over national identity, all of it fueled by more waves of migration.
So what this all adds up to is pretty clear. This isn't just another bumpy patch in history. We are at a real, genuine turning point. The decisions that get made in the next few years are probably going to define what the world looks like for generations.
Which brings us to the end here. But look, this isn't an explainer with a neat, tidy answer. Instead, it ends with a massive challenge, a question that's really directed at all of us.
Let's be perfectly clear about one thing. This isn't some distant problem for the future. It's not a what if. The global identity crisis is here. It is happening right now.
And honestly, the most alarming part might be just how fast it's all moving. The pace is accelerating, and it seems to be catching pretty much everyone, governments, institutions, all of us, completely off guard.
And so we're left with this one final thought, because eventually these debates will get settled. A new consensus on identity will emerge. And the only question is, when the world finally decides who we are, where will you stand?